bye week. Did you have a relaxing day? A Sunday football day with no stress? Did you have it? Did you allow it? Or did you get all bent out of shape about the Pats and Bills? Did you do that? Did you get mad that the Lions lost? Did you get upset that the Bears got backup unknown name quarterback looks like Brock Purdy? Or did you do any of that? Or did you relax? Did you get some yard work done? Who knows? Well, hey, bye weeks are weird. Bye weeks are the week where you can do whatever you want to do, right? As Jets fans, we know we're kind of prisoners to some respect watching this team. We love it. We do. I don't want to make it sound like we don't love it, but I can tell you that it's not always good times. Not always the best. Let's just say it like that. Well, hello, everybody. This is episode 136 of GreenBean's Jets Pod, and I am Green Bean, and I'm happy to be here with you. As you can probably figure out, I'm not in the same place that I usually record these, so I'm kind of making a little magic. You mind a little magic? A little magic for you. So we're going to do this thing because I wanted to make sure that we talked about a couple of things before we move into this week against our crosstown rivals, the New York Giants. We only get to play these guys in the regular season, but every 4 years. So this is going to be an important one. Now, interestingly, the Giants are kind of having a difficult time, but they are not giving up on the season. That's a team that you can absolutely lose to. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is a team fighting for the season, very similar to the New York Jets. They beat the Commanders this past weekend, and they lost to the Bills. And can I shoot real straight with you? On some BS. On some BS calls, which is really going to be a lot of what we talk about today. Not to blame refs for where the Jets are specifically, but we're going to talk about it, man. And that Giants-Bills game, I know they just threw a pass interference flag, the play earlier, and that the end of the game in the Giants-Bills last week. But guess what? That doesn't mean if it happens again that you can't call it. Now, when a receiver's going up to catch a touchdown and somebody's got his hand and he can only reach up with one hand, that's what's called interfering with the wide receiver's ability to catch the ball. And they didn't call it. Now, admittedly, fast in the game may be a little bit difficult, but that's what those guys are paid for. And we all saw it. I saw it in real action. Now I have a pretty good angle with my TV camera crew that I hired to watch the games from my couch or my chair, wherever I might be. But it was some BS. So the Giants could very well have beat the Bills, and they could be, really kind of grooving right now. So they just beat the Commanders. They're coming off of a win and a game that they really should have won. And we're coming off a bye. Traditionally speaking, it's a short tradition, but Robert Saleh hasn't really impressed coming out of the bye. Last year, in 2022, we had that big win against the Bills, which made us feel really good for 2 weeks. Very similar to 2023. It made us feel really, really good. And then we came out against the Pats, and we looked like Dookie Supreme. Did we not? We looked crappy. So when we lost. So it was one of those things, man. It's like it's hard to overlook anybody, right? And I hope that the Jets are not. We still got Zach. We still have some offensive linemen down. We still have a lot of things. I don't really know as of the time I'm recording this. I don't really know what's going on with DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner, Brandon Eccles. We don't know. Tippmann. We don't know. Now, I'll tell you a little tidbit. A little birdie told me. Now, interestingly enough, somebody's little birdie told me, or let me say this. A little birdie told someone who told me last week this information. But then my little birdie told me, which coincided with what the other guy's little birdie said. So now we got two little birdies and a middleman, and I'm going to share it with you. You may have already heard this, but this is what I'm hearing, and it's not good. I'm going to put it to you real simple. we're going to be without Tippmann for a while. Something about a tendon in the thigh separating or tearing or pulling off the bone, something like that. But the way it was put to me is don't expect him back in the near future. That's how it was put to me. And I believe it was put to someone else. Don't expect him to be around for a little while. Same exact thing. You see what I'm saying? It's hard not to coincide, to correlate these things if you just listening, right? When it's the same damn thing. So if Tippmann's out, we have things to figure out. I'm really surprised that the Jets haven't brought in another guard, another tackle. We haven't brought in anybody. It's like we're like, we're good. Dwayne Brown's going to be ready. We'll stuff him in at right guard. Who cares? Billy Turner's here. Cedric Abuy's in the house. So we're all good, I guess. I don't know. But, look, if you want Zach Wilson to succeed, you might want to really do everything that you can to make sure that if he fails, it's his fault. Not the offensive line, not the receivers dropping the ball. You know what I mean? Like, you want to give him every opportunity to succeed, man. That's the thing. He's clearly improving. Make it so the environment is fertile for young Zach Wilson. That's what we want to see. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing going into this game because we don't know what we're really looking like as a team, right? So we have injuries. We have Zach. Our defense looks really good, but we have injuries there too. So will Robert Saleh buck the trend? We just ended a streak never beating the Eagles ever. We just ended that. We are now 1-0 in the new era of Jets-Eagles rivalry. So we just beat them. We did not end the Patriots streak, which we absolutely should have. The Jets very well could be 4-2 right now. And we could be 5-1 if you wanted to get into it, which we will, by the way. But, so let's just say, look, we're 3-3. And we didn't end the streak with the Patriots. So Robert Saleh, his streak of losing after the bye is intact. So we got to see how he comes out. We got to come out because the Giants are not the pushovers that their record or their troubles make them seem like. They are not. They're ready to go. And Tyrod Taylor is looking like he's, he means it. He wants to keep this NFL thing going. So, and he's beat us before. He's beaten us before in our history. So we don't want to see that again. Now, let's talk about what this is. This whole thing that we'll talk about today. The NFL just issued the New York Jets its second apology of the year. Now, Jets fans, it's funny because I make a lot of Instagram posts and Twitter tweets and obviously YouTube videos and Rumble and I put our stuff out there all over the place. TikTok. And I get a lot of people who respond. A lot of times other teams' fans, when we say something about the refs, other teams' fans are like, oh, typical Jets fan. First of all, I am a typical Jets fan, okay? I'm very, very typical. I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm rambunctious, I get up and down. That's what happens. I'm a typical Jets fan, yes. But when they say typical Jets fan, blaming the refs for your woes or what have you, sometimes they have a point. But I think by and large, what we're talking about are some serious things here, okay? The longest active streak of an NFL team not drawing a roughing the passer penalty is owned by the New York Jets. Like, you want to talk about streaks, never beat the Eagles, 15 games with the Pats. How about this? How about we haven't drawn a roughing the passer penalty when there have been many examples of our quarterback qualifying for being roughed or unnecessarily roughed, right? Unnecessary roughness. What about that? So we get now an official apology. The player in question, Mr. Sweat from the Philadelphia Eagles, got fined $16,000+ for the hit, which is, I gotta say, these fines are absurd to me. How could you possibly fine, so I don't care what they make, $16,000, dude? What are we doing here? I digress. So they fine him $16,000. And they say, hey, Jets, we want to let you know we missed one there. Yeah, you did? You think? You think you missed one? How about the Jermaine Johnson egregious hold against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Taylor Swift game? How about that one? When Patrick Mahomes, it was 3rd and 22 or whatever it was, never had a chance. He had nowhere to throw, and the defensive line was closing in. Bryce Huff was running around. Jermaine Johnson was right there, and he was held like this, and he couldn't move. He was swatting the guy and putting his hands up. The refs couldn't have cared less. What about that one? You think that would have changed the game? How about the Sauce Gardner phantom hold where he just touched his shoulder? How about that one? And it nullifies an interception. And that wouldn't even have been the worst part about that call, right? Wouldn't even have been the worst thing, except that he didn't call that. He waited about 5 seconds later, and once Michael Carter intercepted the ball, then he threw the flag, and there has not the capability of being a more obvious and transparent piece of baloney to chew on than that, okay? That is about as good as it gets. If you want to sell somebody a line of shit, that's the one to do. Oh, he was just looking at the play 5 seconds ago. Yeah, he didn't even reach for that damn flag until Michael Carter was intercepting the ball. All right, so that's that. The NFL didn't apologize for that because they were too busy dancing with Taylor Swift and all of her Swifties. That's what they were doing that day. But the other one they apologized for was in the Dallas Cowboy game where the defense stopped them, and they gave John Franklin Myers a roughing the passer penalty. Not funny. We get called for just the slightest of roughing the passer. It happens all the time. And it happens to JFM all the time. That's his third. That was really not a roughing the passer. And game change. Remember the Patriots game, the one that I was talking about after the bye. How about that one? Again, Michael Carter II, pick 6. They throw the roughing the passer. Once he picks off the ball, then they throw the same thing. Exactly the same thing. So they apologized in the Dallas game. You know, that play ended up forcing them to get a touchdown. The defense stopped them. Now, there was another penalty that was kind of real, but that penalty never happens without the JFM baloney penalty. So the NFL has now officially apologized twice, but there are other examples. So it's when you have a scenario like the longest active streak in the NFL with not drawing a rough in the passer, if you look at teams, they get 5, 6 a year. We have not had one since toward the end of 2021. It's the 3rd season away, or 2 seasons away, let's call it. Full season, not one. The only team in the NFL without one. So what did they say? They said, hey, what are you going to do about it? That's what they bid, because what are we going to do about it? Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate you acknowledging our pain. But what did it look like? Was it a game-changing play? Well, let's see. It was at the end of the second quarter, and it would have given the Jets a 1st and goal with 46 seconds left. It happened to be the 3rd and 9 that we didn't get the first and we had to kick it. Remember? We kicked a field goal. Remember that? Remember that? I mean, we got a field goal, so that's nice. But we would have gotten a 1st and goal with 46 seconds left. Inside the 10. You think that's a game changer? No. In truth, in complete transparency and honesty, it's not like the Jets have been juggernauts from the 10-yard line in, right? It's not. So there's that. There's no guarantee we would have scored, but it's certainly a momentum shift. And obviously, there is a better opportunity when you have 3 downs inside the 10 than a third 15, 20 yards back. Right? So that's what it's looking like. So the NFL does that. Now, you want to talk about support for the idea that there is some, I don't want to say conspiracy, right? They're sitting around, do whatever you can to make the Jets suffer. That's not what they're doing, right? I mean, maybe they are. Smoking cigars. What do you want to do there, Billy? Make the Jets suffer. That's not what they're doing, I don't think. Who the frig knows anymore? But it's just the idea that the New York Jets get screwed. I'm a firm believer that Swiftie game, they were not having the Chiefs lose. That was the first official Taylor Swift Swiftie invasion. They loved it. They raised ticket prices 43%, and they sold thousands of tickets. Not Woody, not Goodell, not Kelsey, not Mahomes. None of them wanted to let the Swifties down. It's truth. It's the truth, guys. Okay? I'm a firm believer in that one. Now, was this one a conspiracy? Probably not, because the Jets figured out a way to win. Right? And Taylor Swift wasn't there. But it's not like there at least is something about the idea that Zach Wilson, they don't like this kid. They let him get beat up like nobody's business. The week before, he had a face mask. No call. A hand inside his helmet. No call. What about when they pick him up and they land on him full with their body? That's supposed to be a penalty. You're supposed to pull up. If you don't have the ball, you're supposed to pull up. If you can't see it, that's on you. Happens to Zach all the time. You see a penalty? No. What about the Patriots game 2 years ago in 2021 when they dove at his legs on the sideline, hit him in the knee on the sideline, no less? No call. Remember, Zach went out for a few games. He stayed in for one more play. They crushed him again, and he was out for 3-4 games, whatever it was. Remember that? So this is what's happening. Now, here's what I hope. I hope that the NFL is like, dude, we got to call a flag. If anybody touches this kid, throw the damn flag. I hope that Dable is telling the Giants, look, man, we're getting word that the NFL wants to throw a damn pass interference or pass, a roughing the passer penalty for Zach Wilson. Don't touch this kid. I hope that's what it is. If they don't touch him, I don't care if they don't throw a flag. I don't want one fake. I don't want a fake one. I'll take a fake one, but I don't want it. It's not what I'm rooting for. I just want it, if it's happening, I just want it to be called. I just want the game called. That's it. I want it fair. Fair and square, baby. Right? Mono, right? Whatever that is. Fair and square. It's all we're asking for. If he gets his helmet pulled to the side by his face mask, if somebody goes and picks him up and slams him down to the ground and lands on him with their full weight, dives at his knees, hits him late, we want the flag. That's what we're asking for. That's all. Is that too much to ask? So I'm a believer. I hope. The NFL's like, who cares? It's Zach Wilson. Get the Mormon out of here. Maybe that's what they think. Maybe they don't like Mormons. Who knows? So we'll see about that, but I'm hoping that the Giants, the Chargers are like, don't touch them. They're going to call it, and I hope we get 5 of them in one game if they sneeze on them. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. So that all said, we got screwed again. And this is the thing. It's the confirmation of what we're saying. Like, we're viewed as this fan base that's just a crazy bunch of buttholes. We're not. We're actually an incredibly knowledgeable fan base. Not all of us. Believe me, you go in the stadium, you hear people, you're like, dude, they're like, bring out O'Brien. Where's Pat Ryan? That kind of stuff. Or people that say, I would start Streveler. Streveler should go in right now. And you're like, dude, Streveler ain't even on the team, buddy. You're like, yeah, he is. Okay. Yeah, those people are out there. But by and large, we are an educated fan base. We know more than most. We're a little bit obsessed. Would you agree? We're a little bit obsessive. And we've been saying this stuff for a long time. We know what we're looking at. We know what we're talking about. And we have been getting screwed. And now we have 2 examples where they've confirmed it. They've confirmed it. Now, they didn't confirm all of them for us. They won't touch that Jermaine Johnson. That's so bad, they can't even look at it. They can't even look at it. The ref was standing right there. Right there. He just didn't want to do it. So we'll see. Now, that all said, here's my prediction for the rest of the season. You ready? How many games we got? We got 11? 11 games left. Got a nice chunk of Jets football left, everybody. So we're going to watch this team win 11 games. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best time. You're going to love it. I can't wait to see us go 11-0 the rest of the season. Realistically speaking, I think that we'll lose 3. So that would put us at 8, 9, 10, 11. That puts us at 11 wins. And we are going to go to the playoffs potentially win the division because who knows what's going on with Miami. Miami's got a good shot, right? They're pretty offensive, I would say, but they can be beat too, so who knows. But the Bills, the Patriots, you saw the Patriots beat the Bills this weekend. Thank you, Pats. Bring the Bills back a little bit closer. But they don't look like the Bills of old. They look like they might be having some problems. So, and we already beat them, so we know that we can. Whether or not we do, who knows? But we know that we can. I'm predicting that we sweep Buffalo this year. I'm also predicting that we beat New England the last game of the season. So there's that. But hey, I hope you enjoyed the bye week. It's going to be a good week of New York football. New York Jets versus the New York Giants at MetLife. Don't forget, once that game's over, it's the next game. That's our ticket buy. I think we have 4 left, something like that. Hanging out with Tailgate Joe, Matt O'Leary, Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, Finnegan, Jets Chaos. We're all going to be there hanging out at the Tailgate Joe. Tailgate, we're going to be going in for on-field access, and then we're all sitting together for the game. 50-yard line upper level. In my opinion, best seats in the house. It's going to be a great time, and I hope that you will join us. I hope you have a great rest of the week. That's all for this. I know it's a little bit shorter, but again, I'm not in my comfort zone, man. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. We'll be back at it this week for the Thursday Thick of It Talking Jets panel on the Talking Jets Network on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And then we will be at the game. Well, no, this week we'll be live right here on GreenBean's Jets Fan for the game against the Giants with our live reaction and watch party. What a great time. I hope that you can join us. With that all said, I will see you next time. And as always, go Jets.